Well, if you thought this section was going to be about how best to make money by running drugs with your boat, sorry to disappoint you. Maybe in another course. No, this time it's about the problems associated with boating under the influence of alcohol or drugs, or, for the really adventurous out there, the two combined. You're all probably aware of the penalties of driving a car while under the influence. The same applies to the operation of your boat, and then some. The huge fines that you'll be bringing onto yourself are so steep that they really should keep you from straying into that dark area, ever. If they don't, a good chat with a lawyer about the liability issues from boating while intoxicated should scare you into joining the monastery. If that still doesn't work, get this. Aside from the heavy state fines you'll be subjecting yourself to, guess what? In 1988, boating under the influence became a federal offense. And if you think the state has no sense of humor, wait till you deal with the feds. And if that's not enough fun, most states have laws that also let them add on a negligence violation and suspend or revoke your driver's license if caught boating under the influence. The simple fact is that operating in an environment filled with fresh air, sun, and motion of the ocean while maintaining your balance and stability can become surprisingly fatiguing throughout the course of the day. In addition to all that, let's not lose sight of the fact that you're operating a vehicle with no brakes. To add alcohol or drugs to this equation would bring your lack of common sense to a dangerous level. Avoid it at all costs. Bring sodas or waters for the day's enjoyment. Now here's a quick question for you. What's almost as bad as a drunken captain? Give up? Drunken passengers. They have a surprising need to fall into one of two categories: rejecting authority or undermining authority. That makes your job to maintain control that much more difficult. They'll either ignore your directions or do just the opposite of what you tell them. If your friends insist on an onboard drink, well, so be it. But just remember, you're still responsible for their actions and safety. So keep them drinking in moderation. And that's especially true if they're driving home after the day on the water. And by the way, no glass containers on your boat. They're too easy to break when the boat rolls. Stick with cans or plastics. So now that we've discussed the downside, just what are the parameters that will label you as operating under the influence? Well, for 34 states, a blood alcohol level of 0.10 will do the trick. Another 20 have gotten tougher and lowered the acceptable blood alcohol level to 0.08. And for you underage boaters wanting to tempt fate, 16 states will arrest you with any measurable amount of alcohol in your bloodstream. Now, blood alcohol content is measured by having you blow into a device called a breathalyzer. It measures the alcohol coming from your lungs and converts that into blood alcohol content. And it's pretty foolproof. You can't fool the machine by eating mints, drinking coffee, chewing gum, sticking metal in your mouth, or any other tricks that people have tried through the years. And for those of you who think you're smart and figure, if they can't test me, they can't convict me, think again. By operating on state waters, you agree to the law of implied consent. That means that you are giving permission to have your blood alcohol content tested if you're suspected of operating under the influence. And as you have given consent to having your blood tested, you don't get to call your lawyer first.